Dwarves are back in a really big way.
Spiky Bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com, and we are going to talk about some dwarves today. I love dwarves. I used to play them in Warhammer Fantasy way back in the day. I didn't really get to do much with them in Sigmar, unfortunately. They didn't translate over quite yet, still. But that's okay. Dwarves are cool because people RPG with them, people play Kings of War with them. We might see some appearance of some normal dwarfs in mass here in Age of Sigmar times in the near future. But either way, there's always something to do with dwarfs. And Kromlech sent us a huge boatload of their new Hospodar kits, which are just basically like rank and file dwarfs of all sorts of different shapes and sizes. You can see here, there's a bunch of the kits. I'm going to show them to you on their website, as well as some of their flat pack cool terrain that came out too. So if you're looking to do some scenery and really create and kind of get those hobby juices going, this might just be the next little big thing for you. So jumping over to bitsofwar.com, that's the retail side of Kromlech. If you go to Kromlech, you'll find it, but that's not where they sell stuff. That's more of their news kind of thing. You can see all their latest and greatest stuff here. They've got the tabletop scenics, which is a lot of the terrain offerings that they do, and then also just straight up resin bits and conversion kits and whole kits and things. You can kind of see them all here. Their latest and greatest releases looks like some silver hobby chains, which are always definitely come in handy. And here you can see some of the Hospodar terrains. There's a whole bunch. I don't even have all of it, and this thing looks ginormous. This Ancestors Memorial, some watchtowers and stuff, just really kind of digging into that whole like World of Warcraft kind of feel and vibe. And then right here they've got all the different units you can pick up in small and big varieties. Like if you're trying to max out a whole squad, or you only need a couple for whatever, they pretty much got you covered with traditional offerings like miners, riflemen, just your traditional warriors. They've got the standard organ gun, definitely a favorite from back in the day. And then it goes over to the other page because they came out with some more hobby supplies that we're gonna talk about probably on Instagram or something like that in the near future. But I really wanted to focus up on this. So they're about $35 a kit, give or take, and their terrain sets are around $30 each for that flat packed HDF kind of assemble it yourself type deal, which is actually kind of fun if you're into jigsaw puzzles and such. So I already grabbed a couple of kits from what they sent us here, and to have a look at them and just kind of get an idea for the look and feel and kind of show you how they come. So this is one of the War Machines, the Cannon with Crew, and then the Warriors Command here. Now remember, they got a traditional Warriors set kind of type deal too. And you'll notice like right off the bat that everything, well, this is only half the squad, but everything's going to come in a bag with all the parts and everything you need right there. Once you get into the kits themselves, you'll notice that, they're very well detailed. I mean, you can tell just looking at this right here. Very crisp details, almost simulates wood grain right there. Well, it is wood grain. It would definitely look very good once you painted it up. Get these out of the way because it's taken away from the detail. There you can see it goes into focus. Very, very cool. When it comes to cleaning up the models themselves, it won't take a whole lot. You could actually snap them off right here because they have those little gates. But what I would probably recommend is using some clippers for sure. You can just knock them off and then get them done up really quick. And then you've got the hand weapons for these warriors right here. They're nice and big and chunky, but they don't look like oversized or anything like that. They're definitely proportional. It's not the old gorilla grips of the early years at Games Workshop when it came to doing similar type things. That the fists were just completely out of scale with everything. And then the heads right here. I like the look they went with it, but I mean the beards are flowing and luxurious. I mean every dwarf is known for his beard, right? So it makes sense that they did that upright. Now the resin, very well cast, super strong, obviously crisp detail. You can see it right in the image there, and not a whole lot else to say about it. I don't have the cannon to show you because I actually already got that one together. But let's take a look at the assembled versions of miniatures real quick too. So here's a cannon kit from them. I like it. It definitely reminds me of the old pewter ones from Games Workshop, and they would definitely work very, very well in any OG kind of style army or Kings of War style army, or pretty much anything you wanted to do that you needed a cannon for. A Dwarven cannon at best. It's Dwarven Force. It's got to be good, right? So you can see there's a lot of crisp detail on here, and all the work, all the icons and everything, and even the wheels are in resin and look very, very crisp. And then you got the crew here, that you've got probably the commander guy kind of calling out the shots and such. Of course he's got an axe. Why wouldn't he have an axe? The loader guy here just kind of chilling, like he might have been up to something. I'm not exactly sure what he was doing quite yet. And then this guy here is clearly the one doing all the work in this particular instance, but you know, that's just the way it is. Dwarves are stoic and entitled to their opinion for sure. So size wise, how did they compare to some of the stuff you might be more familiar with? And here, well, I guess we need a B right there. So definitely on the right scale, depending if you're trying to use them in the mortal realms or perhaps, you know, something else out there too. When it comes to the warriors, they're a little bit more dynamic and got a lot going on. Like here's a warrior here, and you do kind of have to assemble them on these square bases. Now these are 20mm square bases, but you could definitely put them on whatever. So you've got a musician. You got your standard, you got your sergeant, or you know, upgrade depending on what you call him, leader guy. And so you do have to rank them up, kind of like the old days, where they can all kind of fit on here, which is really, really good. And then you can see the detail work on all of this. You don't have to worry about painting the standard. You got the detail right there, which is really cool. And these guys and of course he's got his money pouch right there. Hammer, and then you've got some mace options here, which look, I mean, these guys are just cool and very dynamic. It's definitely what you would expect straight out of, you know, something like Warcraft, or definitely something more akin to the old fantasy lines out there, but definitely full of character. And I feel like 10 for 35 bucks, you know, it's just, it seems like not a bad value at all when it comes to the prices we pay for things right now, and then also getting a boutique, you know, resin miniature that's very stylized and very cool looking. And there's all the different poses, and explains a little bit more. This is the insert that comes in the back of the box. So musician, standard bearer, and champion right there. So let's take a look at some of the terrain too, and then put it all on the table and get a closer look at everything. Now, when it comes to the terrain, it's obviously a large package of that, and for most of these are actually right around $30, except for one, I think, the larger kit there. But you can see basically a finished product, and size-wise how it compares to these guys, which we're gonna put a few of these together, I think, and then take a closer look. And on the back, you can get a closer look at the detail on all of it. It also comes with full color instructions, and I've got one open right here that we're going to take a closer look at. So this is the assembly instructions, and they are in full color, which is super helpful. And they give you some different options and things like, hey, leave this open if you want to see on the inside. If you don't, you know, you can block off the windows and things. And then it's got a removable roof and some how to glue all the support stuff together right there. So assembling it generally doesn't take quite as long. It actually takes far less than actually assembling the miniature itself. Now, when you go to assemble this, a lot of the bigger pieces you can kind of, you know, successfully kind of snap out of place right here. But I think for the most part, what you want to do, just so you don't have any breakage, because, you know, it is laser cut, but it's still kind of being held in a little bit in some areas. You can see, like right there, there's that little nub. Is you want to use, you know, safely as possible, always wear eye protection and stuff, an X-Acto blade of some kind to actually get in there and allow these pieces to separate out, so you don't have any, you know, anything getting caught or anything like that. And once you shave it flush, whatever piece is left should pop together pretty well. Now, detail-wise, there's not a whole lot going on here. It's very flat, although the little wood notches are in here. But if you wanted like a kind of a true wood grain, you could take some sort of steel wool, or maybe like file, and kind of drag it across here to kind of cut in that pattern into it. Now, I don't super recommend it, because you could use maybe like some stucco or something like that. But they also have these notches here that will you can also pop out, so there's some deeper gaps in it. Probably what I would do if I was to paint this up would just use a lot of snow effects and just to give it that depth and that realism, or maybe some patches of different stucco or something like that, or it's just something you can kind of turn into a little bit of wood grain. It's not bad. I mean, it'll dry brush up. It's super light, but you would have to get a big poofy brush in order to really pull out all this detail, I feel like. Whoa, that looks huge. So here is what the house looks like once you get it all together, and it does have that really cool removable roof as well, so you can do all sorts of activities. And remember, depending on how you want to do it, you can pop out these little window things right here, or just leave them together so you can paint the actual window panes. Now we're gonna go take this and set them all out on a table just so you can kind of get an idea of how this would look kind of laid out. But scale wise, I think they are pretty well done for sure. Like you can see right there, they won't look out of place at all. And I really like how they did that circular door, like very hobbity, but definitely not going to work for something like a Stormcast. No way, not never. Oh boy, look at all of this, man. It's pretty cool. Imagine a whole like half a table full of these things. It'd be pretty neat to see. So this is all the kits put together. Now the smaller kits have the removable roof, so you can do all sorts of crazy things in there if you want to trick it all out, or have some interior, even measure out 1-inch square hexes or something like that. You definitely could. This one's a little bit bigger and it has more open areas on the inside, unfortunately, so the roof doesn't come off, but it's got these neat little balconies up here that you can put your boyos on, or boyars, or your leaders, or just pretty much anybody you want, so to speak, up here. And they've got chimneys and things like that. And then getting down to the comparisons down at the dwarf level, you can tell it definitely works out pretty good. So no matter what you're looking to do, these kits might be pretty cool for like all sorts of different things, from all those game systems we mentioned to pretty much stuff we haven't talked about, maybe even in the future with the old world. So that is it for this one, y'all. Thank you very much for watching our unbox, build, and kind of review on the new Hospodars from Kromlech. Now remember, make sure you go to Bits of War or the Scenic's website for these items, because if you just go to Kromlech or the other site, you might not find them. So you need to go to Bits of War to scoop up all of these good releases. So that is it. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.